He said, all right. I said, let's do a podcast. Let's sit down. Let's get a coffee. Let's just talk about 1, 2, 3, 4. Coffee with the Sam. Got a little podcast. Grab yourself a little coffee and a podcast.
What's happening? Oh, let's put you over this way. Come closer.
You want me to come a little bit closer?
Keep coming.
Come on, and let's go.
Get close in here. There we go. Not there. Not too close.
Not too. Little bit intimate now.
Not too close, mate. Not too close. What's up, guys, and welcome to another episode of the Coffee with Sam podcast.
Yes.
We're actually here with legend.
Yeah.
3 times.
Yeah. Well, this is it. Yeah, hat-trick, innit?
This is your 3rd time.
Absolute hat-trick. That's what I mean. We don't play about.
Your 3rd time in the studio,
We like
mate.
to stay relevant. You know what I mean? Stay up on their eyes, you say. Stay up on their eyes.
What have you been up to?
A lot. I've been into a lot this past year. I could say what time last time we did this was probably over a year ago, wasn't it? And we spoke about. I think we might have spoke about the Brotherhood Legion, which is, for people that don't know, is my men's mental health group. We would have spoke about, the transitioning from, personal training. I think we spoke about meeting in the factory when we was in lockdown, and then, the evolution from that. So from there, obviously I did a show, went back to dancing for a bit. So also a little back step is that, I'm a professional dancer. I'm now a personal trainer, and all round just light in the dark. I think that's what I like to look at myself.
You're about to drop your own merch line, mate. That should be on it.
Yeah, do you know, light in the dark. Well, we're thinking on the new merch that will be coming soon for the Brotherhood Legion is No Man Walks Alone. So we're gonna get that on the back. I think No Man Walks Alone.
Nice.
Because that's what the Brotherhood Legion is about. It's about letting men and know and acknowledge that sometimes our eyes are facing down, and we believe that we're the only one going through that struggle, and we can feel isolated. But if we just lift our chin and open ourselves up a bit, you'll see there's a load of soldiers fighting the same fight side by side, and it's easier when we stick together. Alone we can be strong, but together we can be unstoppable.
So you're talking about soldiers. What do you mean there? Like, we're not talking war. Like, we're talking what's the group for? So we'll take a step. Let's just imagine we have a lot of new followers here on the Coffee Zone podcast since your first ever episode in 2021. I think the first time you were in the studio, in the old studio.
We were talking about conspiracies then,
it was then, yeah, you're a big conspiracy man.
Yeah. Talk about the truth.
Hey, don't, I'll get cancelled. You can't talk the truth, mate. And then since then, you came back on because we've came out of the bad situation we had in the whole world, and you've then, off the back of that, launched a positive company, a positive change to be a personal trainer. So what do you mean when you're talking like soldiers and we're doing this, we're not on our own, there are more people fighting the same battle? What, you don't mean Ukraine, like? No,
I don't mean real soldiers. And I mean, when I say, I feel, in reality that, we are sometimes at a battle with life. Life is a challenge. Life comes with obstacles. It comes with adversity. It comes with difficult times. It's the point of living. It's the point of being a human being. You will have downs as well as you will have ups, and we know chemically, in a dopamine receptor, whatever goes up, if you have a good spike, a really good time, your dopamine is going to crash. We know that biologically. So it's just the natures and the laws of the universe, and us as beings. But what the Brotherhood is there is to help people and help men find that space and that support during them battles in their lives, during them hard times, and to let them know, that it is normal to fluster. It is normal to be emotional, and how can we use them emotions to bring some sort of awareness? How can we change some sort of our environment or our habits that may be contributing to our hard times? And then, when you make that jump or when you make that decision, there's a space for you. It's about creating space, I think. A lot of us, we don't have space. A lot of the men I talk to sometimes, they're maybe in substance abuse. They might have lost a person. They might have gone down a rabbit hole, and they're self-abusing themselves in some sort of way, and they don't want to go to their closest and their day ones and stuff, because a lot of the groups are congregated on the socials around alcohol, around these sort of activities that are not purposeful for healing. And then so what you need to do is step out of that environment. So I'm trying to create a space for people to take a break. You don't have to get rid of your friend circle. You don't have to stop drinking altogether. You just might need a breather, and then you can come and find that in my group, and you can find some motivation, and then maybe some inspiration on your mindset, and then on taking action in different direction. Because I think there's a lot that goes into it. I think people themselves don't move enough towards what they really want, and we get stuck in a pattern of just repeating our lives in a mundane way to compete with the bills that we need to pay, or our family, and we don't like, or we don't want to experience the hardship of putting ourselves out there in the unknown, which is one of the things. Because when you're battling and when you're trying to create something, or you find a purpose in a gratitude, the perspective, if it's your family or it's your business, you have a different power. So you're getting up for a reason. You know what I mean? So and then you got to take that jump. So if you're in a place that you're not happy with, and you are depressed or something, it's your body trying to tell you, in a way, saying, look, this character we're playing right now, this life that we've got, is not working for me. It's not working for me. Something in this relationship with the people, or with the environment, or with the product is not okay, and I need a bit of change. And that's what we're trying to do. That's one part anyway.
Do you think, so that being said, with regards to the environment, do you believe, how I can word this, that because everything is so easy to get these days, and so I want this, and I can see this, and I can see how good your life is, and his life is, and her life is, that we get wrapped up in just being, just existing? Because I'm finding myself, or I found myself doing this after, I know we were talking about marriage and we got on, like, come and pick you up, that as soon as that's finished, everyone was talking to me about this wedding blues. You're going to get these wedding blues because you've been planning for a year for this, and you've had this massive day, and then what's next? And I was like, why does there have to be something next? Why can't we just exist? Why can't we just be happy what we're doing? Granted, to push for extra things, to do extra things, like you said, with the brotherhood, it's every month there's something new, which keeps it exciting, which keeps it growing. But that's fine when that's what you want. Do you think a lot of people get stuck in this environment of, I have to be successful, I have to have this, I have to, instead of just being, well, that's not me, can't I just be me?
Yeah, no, I think what it is what you're talking about as well is a real thing. It's like prolonged gratification. It's like you hold yourself to a pillar. Obviously your event is the wedding, so everything's get it done. This day's meant to be incredible, and it flows by, and then you're like, well, the lead balloon kind of dropped, and you're like, it's over now. And that's a real thing. I experienced that when I did my course. I did 3 years, 2 years it took me to do my personal training course, which some people can do in a matter of like 6 months, but we won't go there. But after that whole completing that, and I sent off the last parts of the form and in the videos, I felt that gratification, instant gratification disappearing, and I felt a bit lost until I kind of had to give myself some space and realize, actually, this is a part of the process. This is never the end game. This is just the beginning, and it never ends. And what you're talking about is so true in the aspect that what we do is we always think that we're chasing the perfect situation, and then what we're doing is living in lack. So we're living in this system that we're not good enough or we don't have what we want yet.
Yeah, like we feel like we have to do.
Yeah.
You can't just do.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know, when I speak to my mom now, who she's a bit on social media, but what you done this week? Or what have you done after work this week? What have you done this weekend? Well, nothing. I've just sat with a dog and I've watched TV like you used to. And you think, I wish I didn't care about wanting to do better. I wish I could just sit, because I find myself now, like straight after the wedding, 2 or 3 days after, where it's just me and Alex, I've sat for a day doing nothing and think, oh, I'm a waste of space. What a waste of space. You've done nothing all day. You've sat on the sofa, you've ate cheese and biscuits all day, you're thinking about the next drink you're going to have tonight, and that's a waste. Well, it's not. Why can't I just do that?
Yeah.
But I'm strong enough to think about, it's all right. These people then have had, like you say, these issues, then have those things of, why am I not any better? Why is my flat not nice enough? Why do I not have a partner? Why have I not got a nice car? Why is my job not good? I can imagine how that just goes, well, boom. Well, maybe that's just not you. Maybe you're not meant to be that. I can imagine that puts people in such a bad space.
Yeah, I think it's one of those ones. It's like, what can you truly be happy with? Like, as in, like, what, you know, where is your marker in your mind? Because this is like, when I'm talking to people, I'm like, I put out a post yesterday, and I'm talking to people, I'm saying, this is the year for you to go and get it. Like, this is the year, because I totally believe, you know, this is a great year for manifesting your goals. Some people have already got a business and they might not be feeling all right anyway, but their business is not the part of it. You know, I'm not saying that you have to go and save the world. I'm not saying that you have to go and build the best business in the world or whatever. I'm saying find what you're not happy with or thing it, and then build on that. Because maybe it's, you know, your purpose is getting up every morning for your kids. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
just being there and just watching them grow. You know, you don't have to go and take on Elon Musk or anything like that. You just got to earn your money. Be grateful that you've got a job, because that is what's going to unlock a lot of this, is gratitude. So you could be okay with your job, like no matter what your job is, and you could be, you know, you could live in abundance and totally wake up every day and go, you know what? I get paid to go to this place and do X, Y, and Z. And that money, even though I might not like the job that much, that money allows me to spend time with my loved ones, to spend time by myself, traveling, doing things that I love, and find that purpose in that place there, in that perspective. Instead of just going, okay, then I don't have it as good as someone else. When really, you know, if you take a look at the, you know, the glass window, and you were in a different country, you have it incredibly better if you're in the UK or like America or wherever, you know, one of these countries full of abundance and opportunity. Yet we are just constantly looking at, it's like fitness. You're always looking at the best body you had.
Yeah.
You're always going, like, I work in fitness, and everybody's always going, I need to get back to when I was this weight. I need to get back to when I was this weight. And I'm like, okay, then they were like, when was that? And it was like, when I was 18. And I'm like, okay, then your body's changed, but you know,
I can relate to that, because I'm stuck with that now, because since 2019, which is then when all the world went to shit, was when I then retired from competitive sport, which then now don't have a need to go to the gym, which then 2016 up to then, I was a PT. I was in the gym, I was in the environment, I was helping people. I'm not in that environment anymore. So then I stand and look at myself and go, why am I not like that? I can see how people would then panic, but I can just go, well, this is why.
Yeah.
And this is why I don't have I'm not someone who can just go in the gym. That's why with my clients and stuff, it was always find a purpose to why you're here, because I couldn't just go in the gym. Like, some people do like to do it. I had to do it because I did cheer.
Yeah.
If I was overweight, couldn't cheer. Knees arms couldn't get through the routine. I don't have that now. Now, do I find a purpose, or do I try and thingy my life around it just to stay healthy? But as long as I'm okay with, this is why you've got a pot belly, this is why your love handles are back, because I could easily find myself going back to, I want to be back to 2019. Well, not a chance, because I was training 4 times a day, cheer, in the gym Monday to Sunday as well, and then eating for that.
Yeah.
I'm never going to get back to that unless I do that again.
Yeah. But that's it. It's getting back into that regimen, that routine, that discipline. But
so that being said, with one of your Brotherhood Legion or one of your clients, let's say obviously on the mental health game, it's not always about get into a better self. If someone comes to you like that, like a client, and says they want to get back to A, how would you follow that up in that conversation? Like, I want to be back to like I was in 2019.
I'd say, well, when was the last time we trained? You know, and I'd say, what are our habits and our behaviours at the minute? You know, how are we moving? And, you know, let's look at it as a realistic point of view, and we'll have an overarching goal. And, you know, this is the goal. But what we're going to do is we're going to put that over there, and then, you know, we can have that as a part of inspiration in your mind. But we're going to work on the daily parts. We're going to work on the quarters. And then what we're going to do is just break you in, and then find a process that's working, that's not going to be too much pressurable, and is going to be sustainable. You know, I talk to men about, you know, trying to get back into a great shape for a lot of men, is for muscle as well, is protein intake, and it's a game changer. And a lot of us don't understand this. Yeah. Protein intake and consistency are the game changers. Volume. So a lot of us don't eat the adequate amount of protein to stimulate muscle build. So if a person comes to me and I want to gain loads of muscle, and I'm like, well, actually, your body needs 0.8 by the pound. You need to be eating 150 grams of protein, 140 grams of protein. They're eating nowhere near that. So, and
20
then
grams maybe.
Well, probably more than that. But say if they're eating 60 grams or 80 grams of protein, yeah, they're having 3 meals a day, and they have about 20-25 grams of protein in each meal. It's hard for me sometimes to go like, okay, then, unless they're young and they're quite disciplined, to be like, okay, then I'm going to put you on 5 meals, 30 grams of protein each meal, 40 grams of protein each meal. But what we're going to do is we're going to change the meals that you're eating right now and add more protein to them. And then your body's going to get more protein than it's used to. So there's going to be a stimulation there. So, and then we're just going to over time keep introducing more protein, you know, and then we're going to build up so you get comfortable with it. So, and then it's not a car crash, and you don't go, okay, then I did it for a week and then it's all gone out the window. You know, it's all fitness is about sustainability. We want to have a good time. We want to enjoy doing it. And yeah, we want to mark our goals. And different people move different ways. Some people can be totally, you know, they're really disciplined with their life and they like making routines up. They like meal prepping. They like stuff like that. And then some people are just not. So you got to find out what works for you. But what you got to do is you got to make the decision. Now, this is the important bit. You got to sit down with yourself and go, okay, then, no pissing about. You know, I'm going to try my best. Yeah, I'm going to make a decision right now that, you know, even when it gets hard, I'm just going to have a go. I'm going to turn up. Yeah, I'm not going to 50% it. I'm here to make it work. And then, you know, whatever comes. I'm not expecting to be perfect. Yeah, I'm expecting to, you know, just show up as much as I can, because no one's ever going to be 100%. But you just wanna keep giving as much as you can when you can.
I find as well, as soon as you find not that purpose, but like when they start to feel better, like it's not always about getting ribbed and jacked and massive and everything else. Just larger people who feel better will naturally lose a bit of weight, but then they'll be happier. And some people don't want. I saw some woman on Reels yesterday, and she was doing advertising a core workout, and she was a larger lady, but she looked like she was flying, loving it. And I was like, that to me is success, as in the gym. Like, if you can be comfortable, yeah, she's going to start to lose a bit more weight probably, but you also don't know what she's going through or what she's been through to why she puts weight back on. And it was just like, I love to, you naturally have that, you're wired to go, well, you're overweight, you're unhealthy, well, she's fat. But I had to just naturally take away that that way I've been wired to think after years of just being told it by the media and stuff, to go, she's fucking happy. Yeah. Like, and with that will come healthier, will come fitter, will come lose a bit more weight. But maybe she doesn't want to go that far. Like, everyone loves a taco and everyone loves a bit of food.
But hey, I'm all for tacos, pastries, pizzas, you know what I mean? I'm all for everything. What I'll say on that though, is, I'm going to be devil's advocate. Is that what? If that's what they say, you know, life is about, you know, mind before body. It's all normally about mind before body, and you know, that's why fitness rolls over to a good mental health. But there is a line in health where there's a crossing between being healthy and then being overweight. Like I'm not saying I'm not like shooting at thing. I'm saying, but if a client comes to me and they are overweight, and the thing, scientifically, you know, in the future they are probably going to have a lot more problems, cardiovascular, you know, and in even mobility. So, you know, I think health is a combination with our bodies that we should show a respect to our bodies. It's the vehicle that we travel through this world on, and we should do it in a positive way. And there shouldn't be no judgment or anything. There should be an understanding, a conversation, and then trying to work the best with each other to come to the conclusion of how we can create the best version of ourselves. Because that's what we're here to do. We're here to create the best version of ourselves. And then sometimes we get lost. All of us do. No one's perfect, you know. Like, I'm talking about myself now as well. Like, even as the stuff that I do with a group, you know, I've come from, you know, certain things and patterns that I've had in my life that, you know, are still in me to percentages. And so nobody ever claps their hands or clicks their fingers and you're in it, you know, Gandhi or a Buddha, and you know exactly what the right answer is all the time. It's going to be a journey. It's going to be hard, but we need help. We need advice, and our bodies should be one of the great relationships that we have with ourselves. And then, you know, things like eating healthy, exercise, especially like eating healthy as well, rolls over to a great discipline of the mind. So these sort of things build up a stronger mental health. And this is what I want to talk to people about as well. We're not conscious about the tools that we need and the techniques that we have to take to look after our minds. We leave it to the whim. We just leave it, and then we expect when we get into a stressful situation, which life is full of, that we should have an answer for it. And then when we get there and we panic and we go, oh, I don't know what to do, this is unusual for me, or, you know, I don't know where we got this impression sometimes, and I've been there myself, that life was meant to be easy. I think we think life's meant to be easy. Like, we wake up and we're like, oh no, life's meant to be easy. Nothing's meant to happen to me today. You know, I'm going to breeze through. It's going to be a good day. You know, I say to people, like, if you had a good day, and they're like, oh, I don't know. I'm like, if you had a bad day, and they're like, no. I'm like, well, you had a good day. You know what I mean? But expect life to be difficult, and then armor yourself with the tools. If it's, you know, of its stress resilience training through high intensity exercise, of its discipline and habit forming through reading and cooking and putting that right nutrition in your body to make sure you have the right energy, of its cold and heat exposure through saunas and thingy, which these are just given to the side, but getting out there in nature. Meditation have all scientifically had great evidence-based backed studies that improve your mental stability and your way to deal with anxiety. You know, give yourself a fighting chance to deal with the stresses of life, because we live in a hot pressure cooker. So you know, don't think that someone's just going to give you the easy option or someone's going to help you up. The life is about moving towards the pressure.
I said this to someone the other day about, I like that we can speak about mental health, but I also think because we can now easily speak about it, everything is mental health. So yes, back in the day, it's bad when you have this society of not just males. I can't speak out because it's seen as weakness by any sex, by any gender, by any human being. We can't say I'm suffering because it's seen as weakness. So it's great that we can do it now, but I feel like everything now is, well, I struggled to do this, so now I've got mental health. I'm going to speak about it because I can, or I've heard someone else speak about it. And it's like no one now goes, I'm going to fight those demons by myself, or I'm going to fight that hard situation by myself. Then if I'm now still struggling 6-7 months down the line, maybe it's a bigger issue than me just getting up off my arse and getting at it. So I think it's great that we can speak out, but I do believe that it is also a catalyst for why a lot of younger generation too now are actually suffering, because they mentally think they're suffering, which then it spirals out of control, when it could have been an issue back in the day where someone would just go, pick yourself back up again. And I hate this, people saying, I probably get backlash from this, but people who say, you can't just say get over it. Well, no, because some things, there is a 50% of things that you can sort yourself. That, like you say, life is not made to be easy, and we don't go through war. We, lucky in this country, don't go through war anymore. We don't go through stresses. We've got hot houses. We've got abundance of easier jobs to do. We don't go through those pressures which you used to go through, which then would make you stronger mentally, to then only 50% of situations would cause you issue. Where now, let's say 95% of I don't know, your dinner's not cooked on time, is now an issue. Or HelloFresh comes and there's one mouldy fruit in there, or one mouldy ingredient. It's like, call them up, kick off.
Or your phone dies.
I want my money back. Yeah, I want my money back because one ingredient. Like, walk to the shop and buy that ingredient.
I've got a mushed up pepper.
Yeah, not saying I don't call them and kick off and get some money back, but because some people will see that as an issue and they'll get stressed about it, because they like, well, no one learns to deal with things on their own anymore because they don't have to. Now, like I say, I'm not saying don't speak out, but I feel like that is part of an issue to why people don't try and fix things on their own first.
I think this is what I mean. It's like it's having them avenues, and even if you're talking about like speaking, when you speak about something, you should speak about it with the thought process of, okay, then I'm opening myself up to either release something and then analyze it from a sense of awareness where maybe I can solve that problem. How do I solve that problem? And then maybe I need to take a time out, or having that self-awareness, but it's perspective, it's focus. Back in the day, people were a lot more communal as well. They had a stronger community thing. So movement and people have really helped. Inclusion is probably one of the biggest benefits or supporters for mental health, and in like bringing groups together. That's why we have so many big groups for rehab and for rehabilitation. But back in the day, they would get on with it, but because they didn't have that thought process of I'm going to focus on it too much because I'm too busy getting on with the next thing.
Yeah.
So I've got no choice, because when you get down to the brink of something, like I was talking to my mate the other day in the kitchen, and he's got 3 kids. He's running his own business. He's doing, he's going to college. He's at college. He's got 3 kids. He's running his own business, and I'm talking to the geezer, and he's talking about this money that he's got to buy for the new kid that's coming, for the car. And we're talking, I'm like, and he's in his, there's some stress level there, but he's coping, in a way. And I said to him, look, respect to you that you're holding it down. And he was like, well, what can I do? I got to get on with it. I don't look at it as much. I just wake up every day and know that I got to do this, and then this has got to get done. And it's having that mindset of looking at it as a mundane thing, is going, okay, then I'm seeing a situation. But instead of focusing on the problem, I've got to focus on the action of the solution to get it done. And then if I don't get that done, I'll roll over and get it done tomorrow. Instead, what we do is where our energy goes where our focus. No, our focus, energy flows where our focus goes. As I think it was E.T. that said that. E.T. Yeah. So check out E.T. on Instagram. It's a great inspirational speaker. And it's true. Where are you looking? Are you looking over here at the darkness, or are you looking over here at the light and trying to figure out how I'm going to make this work? And this is what I was talking about at the beginning, before we came on the podcast. What is it in a person that, even though they can go through the same piece of trauma or the same situation, what is it in a person's brain where they go, I'm not going to quit. I'm not going to quit until I find a way. I'm going to knock on every single door until this door opens. I'm going to ring every single number until someone buys off me. You know what I mean? And then sometimes it is influence. It's that some people just haven't had that pat on the back since they've been growing up, and someone's told them they can do it. and that they have the ability and the potential to go and get it, you know, and they live in a group or a circle where they don't talk about dreams, they don't talk about aspirations, they don't talk about, you know, big goals, and they shoot each other down all the time. So they live in a smaller mentality, and it's about breaking that gap and smashing through that window, that glass wall, and then not setting a limit on yourself. And then, you know, they're saying if you shoot for the stars, you'll land on the moon. And you got to get that mentality. What was I going to say as well? But that's a part of it. And, you know, this is I talking about that as well. I commented on a post exactly that. My sister got anxiety tablets from the doctor because she went for a breakup, and they went there and they gave her anxiety tablets. Yeah. And I was like, what the fuck? Do you know what I mean? Because I know, I'm not even, I said to my mum was saying, I was like, if I went to the doctors, I could get anxiety tablets. I could probably get signed for being ADHD in bloody, you know, something else as well. Because, you know, my mind's always on.
I know full well if I was back at school now.
Do you know what I mean?
If I was at school now, ADHD straight away. They try and give me tablets and all sorts.
Exactly. So like at school, they couldn't sit me down. I had a 1-to-1 anyway. You know what I mean? I was certified dyslexic in school and in college. You know, I couldn't sit down. My brain always thinks now, but now the best thing about it is the voice in my head is more of an encouragement. It's more of a cheerleader than it is a negative.
But that there with your sister is the exact thing I was on about a minute ago.
Yeah.
Is that in the back of her mind, she knows that she can go to the doctors and she will say, this is an issue, that's an issue. What is that?
I don't know. I'm trying to figure it.
There's some issue in here, guys. In the studio in here. It's the energy.
That's it.
It's Reiss's energy.
Frequency is rising, bruv. The pineal gland is vibrating.
It's going in the ears. I'm going to try and fix this. 2 seconds. We are back. The joys of technology there. One, I can help me because I can pause it. But two, we might come back. I don't know. So, guys, basically, I don't know if you guys could hear that on there, but we had some humming and it got worse. And I tried to fix it. I wasn't down here messing with Reiss. I was down under the table for the audio viewers. I was down under the table trying to fix it while Reiss was talking. But he's a professional, concert professional.
This is why we need humans as well. See, this is, I mean, technology is going to take over soon. But you know what I mean, when we have a problem like that,
mate, have you seen that new movie coming out called Megan?
Oh yeah, I've seen
my
it.
God,
It's like the same as that doll thing, but
yeah, she's
like,
a doll, yeah, and
but
she's
now
basically programmed to look after the girl. But then, because she's programmed to look after the girl, she starts murdering people.
Yeah, it's like, what's that?
It's gonna happen.
What's the other one? What's the one before it? Because there's the actual horror movie of the doll, the girl doll. It's called Annabella, and that's just the same thing, isn't it? She gets the doll.
This is AI.
But this is an AI version. Because they can't create no new ideas anymore. So
and we're not going to go into AI.
Yeah.
We're going to stay on the path we were on.
Okay, should we go there later?
No,
should we go there later?
Let's stay on that
because
path.
there's a lot of shit going down.
We're positive today. We're positive.
Yeah?
We're not.
Sometimes the truth is positive. You know, empower people with the truth.
Okay, so what I was saying was, I was saying that's your sister. Now, not that it was a sign of weakness for your sister, but she knows in the back of her mind. She goes to the doctors with an issue of a breakup. Like back in the day, you wouldn't be going to the doctors for a breakup.
No.
You'd be like, I'm sad because I've lost this lifelong partner. Life has changed. They're not there all the time. You talk a lot about vibrations. That vibration is now gone.
Yeah.
Of you being together, like that's what you have to get through. That life's completely different now.
Yeah.
I don't know how I would be if me and Alex split up. Woo! Because I'm used to how our life goes, but she knew she could go to the doctors in the back of her mind. And not that she knew she'd get tablets, but they would try and help instead of knowing that, well, you go to doctors for an illness, which I'm not saying, please don't come at me, you pitchforks. I'm not saying that like mental health and stuff isn't an illness, but going through a breakup does not require tablets.
Yeah. And, you know, let's talk about breakups, yeah, because this is one of the beginnings of me talking on my social media is when, you know, I started doing cold showers. And I was doing them in Ireland 2019, and through a period of them I went through a breakup, and I don't really get into relationships that much. I used to travel the world dancing. It was rare that I got into a serious relationship because, you know, my career was always front seat, and I got in this relationship with this beautiful woman, you know, absolutely kindred soul carer, and you know, just through just life as living in different places, it didn't end up working out. And then, you know, there was other things that were also in the pot, but you know, I'd never felt pain like that, as emotional pain, when we went through that breakup. And I lost myself a bit. I was a bit needy, you know, and I was losing myself a bit. And when people say, like, I felt like I'd been stabbed in the heart, you know, like I did feel that, you know, that sort of pain. It was undescribable in essence, but it was painful. But it felt like real pain, but it was emotional pain. And what really helped me get through them was the cold showers. Was waking up every morning and having that freezing cold shower, and you know, boosting my adrenaline, my dopamine, and you know, giving me that release in that meditation in the morning. And then that's when I first started engaging with people, and I was talking to people left, right and center about it and the benefits. People were trying it. So this is like game. I'm not selling any one thing that I'm not doing myself. These are just things that I say, well, why don't you try this? And if you can last it, if you can last the pressure, and you can stay in there and you can do it, it has an abundance of benefits, I think. But this is what I'm talking about. So I found a way to deal with it that way, you know. And
do you think that could go back to what you were saying a few minutes ago about you putting your focus somewhere else?
Yeah.
So taking yourself out of the situation, which is the environment, and you're putting yourself in a new one, giving yourself something to focus on. Every morning I'm going to have this, which does X, Y, and Z to your hormones, but also it's a new focus.
Yeah.
And when you're in a cold shower, if you've never done a cold shower, and I know we're not sitting here going, ooh, cold showers, like change the world, you can't think of anything else.
No.
But wanting to get out.
Yeah. And it's that break. It's like I found it in routine. I found it in, you know, a new habit, because you need to take your mind somewhere else. Like, that's what you need to do. And when we wake up in the morning, we're most susceptible to like tapping into yesterday's thoughts or tapping into our phone, and you need a break. That's why meditation and stuff like that in the morning is so good for tuning your intention in a direction that you want to go in life. And not enough of us do that and ground ourselves. So we just get up with a whim, like, okay, then we'll just see how today happens. And then something outside of our field will hit us, and then now our day's ruined. And, you know, it's that process. If you're talking about, everything is energy. We are vibrating frequency beings. Everything pulses a frequency off there. If you walk into a room, you know, you can feel if there's tension in that room. If you've got a friend that walks into a room and you know that they light up the room with their smile, or they can say a few things and totally change the mood. That is the energy of the world, yeah. And that's what you've got to be conscious about. How am I conducting? How am I flowing? And then how can I manipulate that energy as well? Because we can have a choice sometimes to be joyful, and we can move out of the sadness through changing our focus. So that's a big thing that I talk about, you know. Turn up into the world.
Clip that right there.
Yeah.
Sorry, that's an Instagram reel right there.
Yeah. Turn up in the world as that energy that you want, you know. And this is when you look at life differently. I remember I read The Secret. This really changed my perspective on energy and stuff. And it talks about an analogy of that you're a tower, you're a radio station, and that you emitted frequency, you emit signals. And, you know, negativity transmits louder and further than positivity because it's so accepted. We spoke about that last time on the podcast about, you know, people would rather gossip and talk about the negative than they would about the positive. And, so the most powerful frequency, though, even though it's not admitted enough, is love, you know, because it's so pure, and it comes from a different place, a different part of the core. And you've got to tune into that, because everything is love. When you can tap into love, you can set yourself free, and you can find a confidence, which is, you know, earned, which is practice, which is, you know, purposely, you know, put into place. You need to, that's the thing, you need to get around the people that lift you up. You need to get around the things and the music that hit you in the sweet spot. Like, instead of, you know, question yourself, okay, then I'm not okay, but are there things that I'm doing feeding my soul? Like, are the conversations I'm having, like, I used to do a thing, I tested myself, I did a thing ages when I was like in my mid-20s, and I challenge anybody else to do it. Go a few days without gossiping. Like, and I don't do it now, you know. I'm hardly around people that do it anyway, but we share conversations. But if you've got friends and circles, and a lot of people do, that talk about their other friends, or they talk about so and so whatever, try and go a few days when because a lot of people will bring up a conversation around you and it'll be about someone else. Try and stay out of that conversation, and you're consciously going to be like, that's an effort, because we're so used to talking about other people's business instead of talking about ourselves and what we want to get out of the world. And I'm not talking about being arrogant or being, what is it? I don't know, but I'm not talking about making the whole focus. I'm talking about talk about goals, talk about what went right, or what you would want to go right. Speak to the world what you want in your life, the positive things, because then the words that leave your lips and the words that you write down on paper are magic. They're like spells, you know what I mean? And they manifest themselves. So if you're talking about how the world's against you, all you're going to see is how the world's not going okay with you. But if you go, today's a great day, I'm going to have a good day today, yeah? And then you're going to swerve a few of them negative emotions and them negative situations in your life, because you're not looking for them.
Well, gossiping though, like, if you're not going to go and speak to that person or that thing, you're wasting your time.
Yeah.
So you just talked about energy. You're wasting your energy. And I've been there. I've been in jobs where you whinge about, like, now I'm so happy because I'm in a company of people that are all the same as me. We're all got the same goal. No issues with work. I've been in companies where you just, like you say, you bitch and moan and whinge and gossip about people around you. But then if that person walked up to me and you said, Sam, have you said, no, best mates, bro.
Yeah.
Like, never saying about you.
Yeah.
That's even worse. Because then you walk away going, well, I know I don't like him, or I know he did something that really annoyed me or upset me, or he ate something out the fridge that was mine, or this happened, that happened. Where you could have just gone, dude, why did you say this about me?
Yeah.
You had the conversation. It's gone then. That's then one thing out of your mind that you're not worried about, because you're going to keep gossiping about it.
Yeah. And that's what and once again, you're spending that time, you're spending that energy on a situation that is irrelevant. Anyway, you want to be spending your time and your focus on your family, on your business, on yourself. And then, so, and this is what I'm trying to tell people about this year. Write down what you want out of your life this year. Imagine, sit down at home right now, close your eyes when you're watching this, if you've got a couple of minutes, and imagine the best version of yourself, the best life that you can live, that best attitude, the way you talk, the way you walk. Yeah, maybe even the way you dance, if you want to get better at dancing. But imagine this ideal version of yourself, and then move into him. Don't wait for someone to tell you that you're great. Don't wait for someone to tell you that you can do something. Start practicing it now. I call it practicing life. Pick what you want and then start practicing it. Maybe on a small scale, maybe on a bigger scale. But write it down, set goals, and then start working little bits towards it. Ask for help, ask for direction, because that's a really smart thing to do. And then go after it, because you got nothing to lose. Yeah, and the best time to start is now. So don't wait for tomorrow. Don't be a tomorrow man. Yeah, I say to people, because I know a lot of anxious people are tomorrow people, and I understand it. My dad's a tomorrow man. Everything's tomorrow, and then I'll get him, and the next thing it's a month without drinking. Or it's a situation where he's in a good pattern with his eating, and you gotta get it. You gotta bite the bullet. You gotta jump, and then this is what I'm talking about. So
if it's tomorrow, you really don't want it.
Yeah. Yeah.
I'm going to stop drinking tomorrow, or I'm going to start on Monday. Like, you don't really want it.
No.
If you really want to stop drinking, you do it right then when you have that thought and say you're going to stop drinking. If you really want to eat healthily, you wouldn't wait for that meal you're going to go on. You'd still go out for that meal, but you'd pick a healthy option. You wouldn't just go out and pig out, drink, and then do it Monday. You don't really want it if you're not going to. And I found that with PT.
Yeah.
When I was personal trainer, I'll come back next week. You won't though, will you?
Yeah.
Because you really don't want it. It's really everything you've just sat here and told me. You're not really bothered about it.
Yeah, I ain't got enough time. That one.
Yeah.
No, okay. Bro, that is the biggest lie that we tell ourselves. So anybody listening, if you've ever said I ain't got enough time, okay, mate. Okay, pal. Yeah. I believe you. But what time's Love Island on?
Yeah.
What's happening in EastEnders this weekend? You tell me, because I don't know. Yeah.
So I was thinking about this last night. Such a weird thing. We got everyone goes on about now, like, stop aimlessly scrolling on your phone. Stop wasting time on your phone. we've done it with TV for years.
Yeah.
It's exactly the same, right? It's just that you can see way more of it, not just the TV channels that are on. But you can now because YouTube's on your TV.
Yeah.
Netflix on your TV. It's exactly the same as your phone. Why are we so hooked on the phone's an issue then?
Because they're so easy. They're so easy. They're in our hands all the time. You don't have to go anywhere. They're just there. Do you know what I mean? You don't have to make an effort to do anything. It's just there. And, you know, I'll hold my hands up. This is what I mean. No one's perfect. Like, I'm addicted to my phone in an aspect. Do you know what I mean? Like, I purposely have to put it down and make time for myself to put it down. And now, like, I'm reading again this year, and there's a mental side of my mind that goes, "Where's my phone? Go and check your phone." And you know, so every now and then I'll catch myself in bed. It'll probably be late at night after I got back from work, and I'll catch myself in one of those wormholes where I'm just scrolling through little short videos and stuff like that. And you know, it's one of those ones. It's built like that way. It's built to do that to you. Do you know what I mean? Like we're set in that game. So, and that's why you have to be conscious again. Can I be aware, and can I kind of change that narrative, and can I put things in place? Because I've got to set disciplines for myself. Because if I can't set disciplines for myself, then the world's going to set bad habits for me. Yeah, and that's the point. You got to check yourself on a regular basis and say, how am I doing? How am I spending my time? Did I get the most out of myself this time? And then how is the world contributing to that situation? Because you will just get lost. If you let somebody else write your story for you, you'll always be a second character. You'll never be the main character. And you are the main character of your story. You got to stop living someone else's life.
I think that's hard for people though, because me and Alex had this conversation about the whole having to get married and having to have kids. We had to start changing the having to want, because the having put pressure on. And I think people don't expect it. It's not forced. It's only forced because you think it's forced. People expect, but people don't force. Like, you are going to get married. You are going to have kids. We had to start changing it to, I really want to get married to you. Like, I really want to have that devotion. We really want to have kids. And that's one thing we're not forcing, because we had friends who forced having children and couldn't get pregnant.
Yeah.
So we just keep saying we can't wait till it happens.
Yeah.
I'm not going to put a date on it. I'm not going to put a challenge on it. And just keeping that pressure away. Because when that pressure was there, let's say 7-8 years ago, when it was like, we're going to buy a house, it didn't even happen. And we think it's because of that. We have to buy a house. I'm this old. Oh, her dad thinks it. My mum thinks it. We need to buy a house. And so we've just letting it happen and going, now we're ready to buy a house. Well, boom, it happens in like 6 months.
Yeah, baby. Law of attraction. This is some of the core values, breaking down law of attraction. It's about knowing the destination, but not knowing the journey. It's about having faith and moving forward, enjoying the journey, and just taking little steps day by day, and just speaking it, but not putting that, because when we put the pressure on, then we admit that we're lacking in it. And when we're lacking in it, we don't get it, because when you look for something, you never normally find it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It just comes to you out of the no. It comes to you out of the nowhere. So then that's what a part of the law of attraction is. Another part is that this is how it goes. You have a goal. You have a vision. It's in the future. You know, it's in the distance, and what you've got is a rope that's attached to it. So then you don't just wishfully think for that thing to come forward to you. Is it you just get on with life and you pick up that rope, and then you take hand by hand and you just start working towards things that are contributed to that goal, just little bits that are in line with that goal, and the next thing you know, the thing's there in front of you, but you forgot about it. You forgot about the actual goal. You wrote it down somewhere, you thought about it, and you just been enjoying life, doing little bits that add up to it, and then it's already there. And that's totally what it is. Like, you got to be able to give yourself a break, relax, but that doesn't mean, you know, you've still got to be moving forward into yourself, you know.
And not forcing to want things. We had this conversation in the motor on the way here. Like, I am living proof of, and this is not me saying, oh my God, your life's perfect, but the job I'm in now, if you'd asked me 4 years ago, this is where I'm going to be, that is not it. And it's not because the world's changed, but am I in exactly the place that I should be? Damn straight I am. Now, podcast, do I make any money? No. YouTube, did I make any money? No. People don't even know. I did YouTube 2016. I was a vlogger, YouTuber. Did I make any money out of it? No. Instagram, I was the kid that was known to talk to my Instagram like you do now, but before it was even a thing. Every story, every day would be like, morning, what's up, guys? I'm going to eat my breakfast now. I'm going to go for a walk now. I'm on my way to the gym now. I'm on my way to work now. Here's my client. I would do everything on Instagram before it was a thing. Never made money out of it. But all of that, without that, the people who got me for my job now would never have come calling for my job now. But I'm in the sport that I've dedicated my life to, but then also I'm on the stage, which is where I should have always been. But that was not the plan. The plan was to do all the other little bits. Oh, do a podcast, it's fun. Do YouTube, it's fun. Talk to my Instagram because I love it and I can help some people through it. And then ended up where I am now. That was the journey. And you think about it, you think, even when I came back from America, 2019, I still wouldn't. I came back to be a personal trainer still, and then travel teaching cheer.
So you got more than you wanted.
Way more.
And that's the magic of it. You get more than you want. It's going to give you more than you want because you're putting yourself out there. And like you said, I just wanted to do this and this, but they all conjugate, they all max and they all mix together. And then the universe goes, actually, this is what you wanted as well.
That's why I keep doing this now on the podcast. And as soon as I sit here with a guest and I don't enjoy it, I'm going to stop it. I'll sell everything and I'll get rid of it. Because I do this because I enjoy it, which contributes to my job. The YouTube, it's a nightmare when you're not making money trying to edit a YouTube video. This podcast takes hours to do just this one episode. You got to make reels. You got to make the YouTube episode. You got to make the audio episode. You got to make the audio reels. You got to make the video reels. You got to make a Patreon episode, which brings a little bit of dollar in. Do you know what I mean? You got to talk about sponsorships and stuff like that try and bring a bit of funding that don't make you money. They just pay for everything because this ain't cheap. As soon as I don't have fun for it anymore, there's no point.
Yeah.
There's no point in it. But all of this helps me with my job, which I get paid for. That's another thing. I think people these days have lost that whole, oh, well, I can pick up a camera and film something. I'm now a videographer, £200 an hour. Get over yourself. Work for 20 years. Be able to edit as fast as possible. Video as fast as possible. Get the audio as crisp as possible. Be creative with those videos. Then you can charge that amount of money.
Yeah, everything comes down to quality, doesn't it? Productivity doesn't necessarily mean quality or movement. Somebody says that one of the podcasts I listen to a load of different podcasts for other people. If you're listening to motivational mindset podcasts, things that really do motivate me because most of the time I'm on my own. So just to shout out to anybody that does motivational podcasts, peace and love, respect. But Sam, like all what you just said there, and this is not me shooting a shot at you. You're not special, as in like everybody can go after their dreams.
My mum told me I was.
Yeah, Sam. No, but in set, I think you're absolutely incredible, and you inspire me to, to fuck.
Like all that smoke up my ass.
Yeah, no, but I told you on the way here, but I'm letting it like as in on terms we are all human beings. You like as in like you weren't born with a special capability. You earned it, and you learnt it. By putting yourself in the face of what? Fear, being uncomfortable, going against the pressure. And everybody's got that capability. So this is what I try and tell, like, when you're trying to tell somebody, okay, you're not happy where you are, you can create a different life for yourself. You got to reinvent yourself, or you want a new business, and people go, it's too long. It's that's for a few years or anything. Or I'm not smart enough, or I don't have the right, equipment or anything. You are. It's just going to take you time. Sometimes it takes you longer. Like it took me 2-something years to finish a course that somebody could do in 6 months. Because I am dyslexic. I struggle with my hand reading and writing. And it took me longer to focus on the computer to even put the hours in. But through repetition, you get better. So when like. Let me jump into, because let's have a snip of. So the Brotherhood Legion, the thing that I've created in the past year for the men's mental health is the past 6 months taken off a storm. It's it's done 7 events, from feeding the homeless, for setting up free haircuts, clothing and food for loneliness and wellbeing groups and the homeless, for doing a free fitness group every Sunday for some men, doing a cold exposure and breathing therapy, bringing men into alignment with each other, helping people. It's done incredible things. I started July 2019. I did the factory. I took 4 lads and I did a month program for them where we did change their habits, and some of them stopped smoking, they got fitter, and I reached out. you know, I used to be before that a professional dancer, where I spent 10 years of my life, and that went down the pan because of lockdown. My whole career disappeared. So then I had to think of a different thing, a different, you know, avenue of service. And I wanted to be of service to others instead of myself now. I've just been traveling the world and living my best life, accompanied by the side of also, you know, some hard times as well, which help grow me into the person that allows me to be that person that helps these other men and empathize and get down to their level. But, you know, people say, why'd you do it? And the thing is, and this is what I want to talk about, is because you need a why. You need a why. And a part of my why is because when I was coming into life, people helped me out. Maybe it might have been, you know, how I got into dancing. I left school. I had no grades. You know, I never went to school. I was out shoplifting all the time. You know, I was just a cheeky little bastard from Braunston, you know, council estate, where there's more drug dealers than there are, you know, anything else. You know, from one of those places, normal council kid. I left school, no grades. I went to college for performing arts. I left after 2 weeks because they wanted me to do maths and English again, and they you know what I mean, they certified me dyslexic. I was like, I ain't having this. Went and did their paint decorating course, and then a woman approached me in the street and offered me to join a scheme for the council, which folded because they didn't get funding. But she put me down on the list first, and then put me forward to her friend who owned a private dance college. I was a wet behind the ear kid that didn't really know what he was doing in his life. And then I had this chance to go to a private performing arts college. My life changed by this person approaching me in the street. My life completely changed. And then I was in 3 years college. I graduated, and then my first job was on a cruise ship. Now, once again, I'm this rude boy, little flat cap wearing, bandana wearing it sometimes, postcode on the side of my cap, you know, crip gang banging. Not really that much of a gangbanger, but I thought I was. Kid that's gone through college and now a private college, and now I'm rolling up in a coach to go on my first cruise ship. This massive ship, the mansion on the sea. I cried. It was a dream that I didn't know was even possible. It was bigger than I could imagine, and I didn't even. But all I knew was I had a passion for dance, and then through 10 years, I've travelled the world. I've met some incredible people, famous people, football players, singers, dancers, whatever, actors. I've lived in bliss. And then aside of that, I've also gone through situations with drugs and, you know, lost friends and had some really adversity in myself, lost myself in my mind a few times. And, but people, by just one, giving me a book to read, giving me my first suit at college for graduation because I didn't have a suit, changed my life, changed my perspective. And I know that some people don't even know what they're capable of, or know how good life could be if they just get a bit of support, if they just get a bit of encouragement, if they just get acknowledged, and then they feel appreciated. They can go full out. But you got to take the opportunity when the door opens to pounce and to make to make benefits out of it, you know.
Tell me I'm great and I'll work even harder for you.
Yeah.
I had to talk to my current employer now, because they're very they don't like to do that, because they're like, well, you're doing your job. If you weren't doing your job great, I would tell you. And I was like, okay, well, just to let you know, the type of person I am, I don't need you to blow smoke up my ass, but you just tap me after a long hard day and say, good job, thank you. I'll work even harder. Yeah. I'll do overtime and not even charge it. Yeah. I will do way more if you just say, well done, good job.
Yeah.
If you don't, I'll think I'm doing something wrong.
Yeah.
I'm like a natural worrier for no reason. Like, if you're not telling me well done, I'm doing something wrong. If you've not told me in the last month, great job, or you've done this great, you've done that great, I would rather you tell me I'm doing something wrong than not speak to me at all as like a job.
Yeah.
And I had to have that conversation with them, because it was getting to me, because I was like, well, am I doing my job good enough?
Yeah.
Because they never told me.
Yeah. But we do. That's what communication. Life's about communication, and it's good to be acknowledged. You know what I mean? It's good to be acknowledged for your hard work as well, because that's a part of the process. You know, unless you're self-employed and you're doing it, but even then, it's good to have that acknowledgement. But yeah.
So as your group, you're doing like two things in one go, because you're helping. It's a men's mental health group,
Yeah.
But then the things you do to give them focus is to look after other people.
Yeah. And there's a different, a lot of the events were with a different charity. So, and then like helping them help with the homeless, because as well, helping them give back is part of a purposeful action for them as well.
Yeah, it's focus.
That gives them, you know what I mean? That gives them a bit of purpose and a bit of fulfillment. And then that's a great charity as well in Leicester, the Centre Projects, Food Banks, Loneliness and Wellbeing Group that, you know, I go to, and they also do Freedom of the Youth. You know, Eric and Azra down there do a great job. You know, Freedom of the Youth has like 45, 50 asylum boys, refugees, and they'll go there, hold that space. It's amazing. You know, we've done some collabs with them, and I take my hat off to them. There's a lot of groups like that. That's what I mean. There's a lot of groups out there that hold space for people, for substance abuse, for mental health and stuff like that. It's just you got to take the jump and get in that room.
So you're doing a boxing match soon, right? For the Brotherhood Legion. Yeah?
Yes. Boxing match.
Why?
So we're doing 12th of March at the Athena Fight Night in Leicester. Get your tickets if you want, inbox me, yeah, or Sam. So we're raising money for men's mental health, my group, the Brotherhood Legion, and the guys do events there all the time to raise money for, you know, people that are in need. And then I'm collabing with them. They're letting me to come on their event, and they're letting me, you know, obviously we raise money, and I'm using my percentage to put into the group to take them away and build more connections with other people around the UK. You know, I've never had a boxing match. When I was like 12, 11, I used to go to boxing training for a little bit, but it's something new. It's about putting myself under that pressure. It's about that experience. I believe as well, I'm going to say as well, I believe men should do combat sports. I believe men should, because we, you know, anxiety can come from a lot of times not feeling in control. And when you do combat sports, or when you do any sort of, maybe it's self-defense or anything like that, you have a sense of more security in your mind when you're in a room that you might be able to take care of a situation. Not that you go looking for it, you should never go looking for it, but if something did happen, then you feel a little bit more confident in yourself. So that's
try being 5'6", mate.
yeah.
I feel threatened all the time.
Oh, you say that, but you know, Mighty Mouse, you know,
I suppose, yeah.
you know,
Mate, back in the day, I would have been a jester.
yeah.
That's how I would have stayed alive.
Yeah. You would have been as well, doing the backflips and that.
I would not have been a warrior. I'd not have been a king. I'd have been a jester, and that's the only way I'd have survived.
You know, you could have been like king of the elves or something. I don't know.
That's the only way. Oh, mate. Kick a man while he's down.
Yeah, no, sorry.
But I definitely would have been a jester, 100%. I would have been dead otherwise. I'd been a jester. Like Grumio off, what's the plate? Oh, what's the show called? Oh, no. That's going to annoy me now.
Oh, no.
That's going to kill me.
Give me some more and I might know it.
That's going to kill me. But yeah, I get that. So when I did BJJ for a bit, it's a bit like meditation too, though.
Yeah, because it's stillness.
It doesn't just fix you like I know now. Like I actually do messing around. I naturally go to like a choke now that I learnt there, and you do feel slightly braver. Like even when you're with mates, just messing around. Before you'd be like, now you're straight to it, straight to the leg, arm bar or whatever, and you feel a bit more, not even masculine, just safer.
Yeah.
But I think when I was doing it, it was meditation because you were thinking about not dying and killing them in that whole hour session. You couldn't think of anything else. You couldn't think about, are you fit enough? You couldn't think about what you're doing after, or your dinner, or your tea, or something that's gone wrong at work.
You're in that primal state, ain't you?
Yeah, all that argument. You couldn't think about the argument because someone was trying to pull your head off. It was normally Neil.
Yeah, that fight or flight kind of. To the end. But yeah, so we're doing the boxing match in March. I'm doing a little series as well where I interview people that I train with, and just talk about mental health and then fitness. And
is that going out on YouTube, Instagram?
Yeah, well, it's actually just on my Instagram. I kind of probably need to sort my life out with my promoting and stuff like that, but I kind of just enjoy the moment for what it is. And then with my Instagram, it's really easy for me to put out content on it, but I'm like, maybe I should be whacking that on YouTube. And then someone told me that I really should be on Twitter, but I'm not raving about it too much. Yeah. But we've got that. And then, we'll roll on from that. That's going to set up some opportunities.
So how do they find you on Instagram?
Instagram is at the Brotherhood Legion on Instagram. And then, my Instagram also is Reiss_the inside coach. So they're my two pins for that. And then Reiss Thompson for the Facebook. But so, I'm always sharing motivational content. Yeah, THOMSON, the Scottish way. Yeah, the Scottish way. Yeah, the real landowners. Yeah. Yeah,
So anyone
the
can reach
Gaelics.
out to you if they want a bit of help on that. And where is it the Brotherhood Legion? Is it national, or is it in a certain area at the moment? Like if you can't use, if you want to get actually physically involved, is it a certain place?
It's Leicester bound. So the core station of it is Leicester bound. You know, where we do a lot of the events, where we do the free fitness group on Sundays, is all Leicester bound. And there is people that are from different places. And then, like I said, you know, in the future, we'll be doing camping ceremonies in breaks away, which I'll be joining and collabing with other groups for men around the UK. So it's just a great way. You know, these are just men, you know, that have all come to the group and come to the fitness. They all come in ones, they all come, maybe a couple of come in twos, and then they're all from different places. So, you know, it's just a nice space, no judgment, just encouragement, and then it allows you to also brainstorm other ideas that you might have, and just get around that positive energy. Also to have open conversation, because a lot of us been through adversity. Some of us are still going, you know, life is hard anyway, but some of them are still going through some still challenges that they have to face on a daily basis. And this is why you know, it can also open your mind to that gratification, mean that gratitude, and that being grateful for life, because some people in the group get up and fight for their life every day. And you know, and then it really puts in perspective of, you know, how, you know, good we do get it. And then, you know, yeah, so it's one of those ones. So please check us out if you're about, and you know, share the love, share the message, share the movement, and get involved if you're local. And then if you're not, still get ready, because we'll be going up about, and there might be somebody in the group that lives near you that you can connect with as well. So that's a big shout.
Nice, mate. So I see you keep messing with my pen and my black book.
Yeah.
So you're not going to speak this word, okay? I want you to write it down. But I want you to think about your one key thing that is to your success, or to why you do what you do. One key thing that if anyone said, dude, I want to know why you do what you do, or why you're going to be where you are, what's that one thing? Okay, now you guys on here, that's the end of the public episode. You are not going to find out what Reiss writes in this book. You have to become a patron. Okay, so www.patreon, spelled different than normal patron, /coffee with Sam. Become a patron, and you'll find out also what Charlie and Steph said on their episode, and also what Reiss writes in this book right now. So that is the end of the public episode. If you want to find out what Reiss writes in the book, then head over to patreon.com/coffee with Sam. Reiss,
Peace.
thanks for your
Peace and
time,
love.
mate.
Peace, love, and light. Go and get it. Go get what's yours. Yeah.
Keep doing what you're doing.
Love you. Love all of you.
And this is why this is the third one, but we're going to be like 20, 30 episodes down.
That's it.
We're gonna do more.
Always be back. Love this place.
I bring you down too, because you inspire me to when I sit and listen. You'll leave and you'll give me your energy. So today's, like, this week will be better. Do you know what I mean? Which is why if you make me feel like that, then hopefully what you make people feel like, and people listening, going to get the same energy from you, and they'll keep doing what they're doing or change what they're doing to be better. So thank you, dude. And yeah, that's the end of the public episode. But if you want to find out what Reiss writes in the book, head over to the Patreon. This book of coffee and keys to success helps support the podcast, helps pay for this, helps pay for the fuel to go and pick Reiss up from the bus station. So thank you, guys. And yeah, we'll see you in the next episode. Peace.
Peace.
Stay